Up next, it's Group 2, 1955 to 1960 sports racing cars. Small displacement, lightweight cars, mainly from Europe, the likes of Lotus and Ferrari, very prevalent at this time and still very competitive. But it's the Huffakers of both David Martin and Chip Fudge, prepared by Joe Huffaker, following in the footsteps of his father from California, Cameron Healy in the Cooper Porsche Special and Rob Walton in a Maserati T60 on row 2. Row 3 sees Greg Meyer in a Sadler Mark IV from 1959, and then the 1960 Lola Mark I British car, with Kurt Delbane at the wheel, David Swig in the Monsterati B-Mod, and then the Troutman Barnes, and that's Dick Troutman and Tom Barnes, who met at Curtis Craft down in Glendale, then Ned Bacon in the Proctor Special, and Thor Johnson in the Lotus 1759 on row 5. Then Nick Colonna in the 58 Devin SS, and Mark Sang in another Lotus, this time Lotus 11 Le Mans. Camilo Steuer in the Maserati 300S from 1957, beautiful car. Robert Bowden in another Devin Ryan Special, this time from 57. Michael Malone in one of the few Ferraris, the 250 TR from 59, and another Maserati, an all-Italian row 8, and an all-British row 9, a C-Type Jaguar, Julian Bronson, and Chris McAllister in the D-Type Jaguar. Huge field this, as we go back, row 10, a REJO Mark IV, 1959, Mark Osborne in that, and Stan Andres in the Lotus 11, the third Lotus. And Dennis Adair in the Elva Mark I from 55, and Jonathan Felber in the Maserati Birdcage. Great to see a Birdcage out there in the 1960 version. Rob Baker in the Cooper T39 Bobtail, and Arthur Cook in the Lotus 11 from 1958. So a huge field and a highly competitive field, this one. We're expecting a really good race from this massive field. Get underway for the Group 2, 1955 to 1960 sports car race cars. So hopefully we'll get just as good a race as we did before. These sports cars from 1955 to 1960. Here we go. And away we go. As they roar into action. A good, strong field this too. Look at the amount of cars involved in this field. Chip Fudge, who got a podium yesterday, being chased hard by Cameron Healy. I say chase, they're side by side already as they go through second and third turns, and Healy quickly jumps into position and past the 156. And I think he's making short time of it because you can see that David Martin is pulling away at the front. So let's have a look at what we've got in front of us here. The number 88, the Genie-Alfa. I mentioned Huffaker, well, they're leading the way, and in fact they got a 1-2 yesterday. There's the 99. Lotus 17 with Thor Johnson at the wheel, a 1959 iteration of that. And there's the beautiful 21. Look at that. So we are underway here, and this is one of the strongest fields in terms of numbers anyway that I've seen all day. And Robert Bowden, number 122, currently in 13th position. I mentioned the Huffaker Genie. It's a Mark V leading the way. Designed and built by Joe Huffaker and his BMC racing division at San Rafael, California. So just literally 4 miles from here, that car was put together. The Genie Sports races were raced in the US RRC series in the 60s in 2 groups, under 2 litre and over 2 litre. The car you're looking at leading the race at the moment anyway is chassis number 12, raced in the SCCA Number Club events in the US. As an Alfa Romeo, hence the name, the Genie-Alfa. 66cc engine, weighing just under 1,000 pounds, about 950 pounds. So very, very light and nimble, as all of these cars are, as we look at Chip Fudge trying to hold off Cameron Healy. And these two, Cameron took the second place a moment ago, but has lost it out again too.
Chip Fudge, who's another one of these drivers who's driving several cars this weekend. The 55, the Porsche Special. The Cooper Porsche Special, to put its full name on there. The Pooper. Cameron Healy at the wheel. 1955, that car. Certainly one of my favorites of the cars I've seen this weekend. Just like the shape, like the color, and like its kind of one-offness. Meanwhile, just behind them, that's David Swig in the number 35. Driving an SCCA B-modified Monsterati, and that is an original car. Actually one-off. That's shot now, the 66 of Rob Walton. I have to say, I know these aren't household names I'm shouting out to you, but I like to give them a little bit of respect as drivers, because I really am in awe of what they are able to achieve out there. These are not easy cars to drive, and it takes a huge amount of skill to be able to not only drive fast, but also to drive carefully, because we've had, touch wood, no major incidents so far. Just as I say that, we go too wide into the last corner. Thank you very much. No dramas. Good crowd have just been out amongst it, as you saw with the Mercedes, and just nice to get a gauge of the crowd itself. And there really is a lot of people here, not necessarily at the grandstands. That's not actually what we want. We want to get the fans close to the cars. So we've got a few thousand people down there at the moment, enjoying being close up. You can see some folks out in the grandstands, and that's great too. But we want to get close up and personal with these cars. So that's what we're doing. Looking at the battle further down, and Dennis Adair. Spoke to him earlier in the weekend. It's McAllister. And coming into shot just now, the number 5. And that's the Troutman Barnes Special. Jim Gallucci at the wheel, a 1959. Here it is. Rattling through the gearbox. A bit right there. I'll tell you what, when the sun's out, you really do get to see how these colours pop out. Really lovely to see. Saw that Proctor Special, the 1957 Proctor Special of Ned Bacon at the wheel. And through comes the Lotus 17, Thor Johnson at the wheel. I really like the classic Lotus colour scheme, the green and the yellow, and of course just highlighted by the yellow wheel rims as well. Classic Lotus look. Jim Gallucci drifting out of the last corner and down the main straight again, being chased by this group, spreading out quite a lot now, but it's Dave Martin still leading the way, and he's pulled away from Chip Fudge and Cameron Healy's battle. They're still very much together on track in second and third, but David Martin's, after 3 laps, quite a long way up the road. He just did a 156.1. Pretty handy around the Sonoma circuit. And I've just seen one of my good friends from the racing world, and one of the local lads, as it were. Kevin Buckler's here, and I don't know if you've been out yet, but today anyway, but how was last night, first of all?
Last night was amazing. Jeff did an amazing job. Over the top, so many happy people, smiling faces, and great camaraderie, and I just don't even know what to say. It was a 10.
We'll talk racing for a moment, first of all.
Sure.
That 2003 Daytona winning car. First of all, I want the story, because you won it outright, but no one really expected, well, I said no one, but I mean, it was a very good team, but you weren't expecting
that straight from the get-go.
We weren't. It's a cute little story, though. We won in 02. It was our first big win. We put together a great team, finally had the funding and the budget, and myself and 3 other guys, and had a good run with the car, won the class as an independent. It was kind of surprising. Got accepted to Le Mans that year, same thing, totally outgunned. We laughed. We said it was the Dirty Dozen going to France. We got there and just blown away at the size and the scope of the other teams. But we were tough, but it was intimidating as hell. We put our head down and ran and learned something there. You know, the only strategy we could really affect change would be the way we couldn't change the car, we couldn't change the track, the layout. We changed the way we operated. And the main thing for us was just to make no mistakes, and that was a key thing in the entire company's history. And so we won that race in 02 at Le Mans, and then came back to do that overall. You know, it's kind of unthinkable. The new prototypes were there. There were 5 or 6 of the brand new DPs. The GT1s were there. They were fragile. But we got together early on and did the calculations and said, you know, our cars could double stint the tires and we're longer on fuel, and should we kind of just hang back with our class or just go for it? So guys are like, oh, screw it, let's go for it. So we stayed on pace for 4 or 5 hours and stayed with the leaders, and then one by one, man, it was great. I was just, the guys, the team was wonderful, and the car won overall, and it's now a historical car. And I'm just proud to be part of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We're watching basically cars from the early 60s here, including a Porsche right there.
Right there, it's
and
beautiful.
yeah, I was going to say, yours is a Porsche. We're talking about the 2003 version, but when you look back and see how Porsche developed, I mean, you can see the beginnings of where your 2003 car came from.
You know, it's really cool to be able, the way they have the paddock set up here too, with everything so accessible and everything together, where you can walk around and see how the history is developed. You know, if you're not a Porsche file, you can see the cars and how the evolution. But exactly like you're saying, it's an amazing company. And every year we got a new car. They're always just a little bit better. You know, the old one was just a little bit slower. So a little bit here, a little bit there, but a lot of big changes over the years in the chassis and technology. I mean, nowadays the cars are so different. That car yesterday, that thing wore me out, man.
I bet. I know a lot of drivers are saying that the Sonoma is not the usual sort of historic event where you not poodle around, but this track is so demanding that you can't drive. I mean, it's just physical either way you look at it. We're watching this great battle between Cameron, Healy, and Chip Fudge. And they really are pushing it. And they've been doing it all race long. It's been great. But everybody's saying just how physical it is out there. Look at this.
Over under.
Over under. Here we go. Giving the crowd a thrill.
Oh, that darn turn 2 gets you. Yeah.
Kevin, it's good to have you here because you, like I said last night, kind of epitomise what this is all about. This is a festival. This is a lifestyle event. It's not just about cars. You happen to be, you have a foot in both sides of it because you have a local Adobe Road winery just down the road from here. Tell us about that and tell us how this kind of suits you down to the ground, because it's everything you love.
Yeah, I mean, how could it be any better? I mean, we spent 15 years, we joke, 15 years to be an overnight sensation with the winery. It just took off. We're building our brand new dream facility like Jeff's last night at Ramsgate. We're building ours up at Petaluma, right on the downtown riverfront. You know, very fun and festive and Petaluma funky, like Austin, Texas. Kind of nice up there. That starts next month. It'll take about a year. And then we launched that racing series. You know, everybody seems like we had some great response from that. I love the new wines with the labels on them and stuff. But, you know, the connection with all of this stuff with motorsports, Sonoma Raceway, and the historic racing like this with the Sonoma Speed Festival, I mean, this is an event I want to support moving forward, can support with our network of people, because we had, you know, not a lot of knowledge, pre-knowledge of the event going on. They just did an amazing job on the logistics. And so we'll work on getting some strategy, getting some folks out here next year from our world. And, you know, it is, like you said, I'm a little new to the vintage side of things. I love this. These are my people. You know,
yes,
I want to
exactly.
be out here and do more, but we were so busy with the pro racing for so many years, and it just you couldn't do all of it.
And it is a good fit. I mean, everybody loves their wine, but also I think, you know, obviously the gravitas that Sonoma has created over the last half century.
Look at those guys. Look at those guys.
They really are going for it. We were just watching Nick Colonna racing in 9th position. This is a battle for the podium here. David Martin is up the road a part at the moment. He's in the number 88, but he's gone. He's checked out. He's some 17 seconds up the road, but these guys don't care. They raced like this yesterday, and they're doing it again today. It's great.
That's great.
It really is fun. And just give us an idea. You're out there yourself later about the Sonoma, sir.
You know, the track, it is. And when I was here driving in Anger in the old days, it's just the most physical track that we ever drive on, and it's a great track to learn, because if you can be fast here, you can be fast anywhere.
Okay.
A lot of it also requires, and if I was coaching myself yesterday, I would have slapped myself up the head because the loss of attention here really costs you time.
Right.
So I was on a mission. I could see the prototype. I love a rabbit. I was chasing the guy. I got up top of the hill. I saw a yellow flag. I got a little off, and then boom, I missed the next corner. Boom,
Right.
missed the next corner. It's like, dang it, focus.
Yeah.
And so,
And that is, when you have a rhythm circuit, a momentum circuit, as we often say, that's what catches you out. Because once you miss one apex, then the next 3 are gone.
this is, if you're a skier, this is like skiing moguls. You can't look up. You know, you're looking ahead all the time.
That's actually a really good analogy.
It makes it fun, but it makes it really challenging. And so yesterday I drove that car, and now you're talking old world H pattern. I mean, I'm going from 5th to 2nd, heel and toeing every clutch all the way down, and
Really?
you got to get it right. And the paddle shifters we drive now are so easy. I joke with my guys. They'll go and see a video or something, and they'll say, "What are you doing with your hands and your feet?" I go, "Oh, you paddle shifter pussies."
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it is so much easier, and I think that's the beauty. I think a lot of people are coming to this and looking at that modern Formula One car, and even Esteban Gutierrez is looking at some of these older cars going, wow, this is tough work.
Yeah.
Now they're coming up on some back markers, so we're going to see some good racing in a moment. But tell me about your race company, TRG. You've been racing different kinds of cars and been right at the top of IMSA and many other series over the years.
27 years, you know, this was a good one. I think that might be one of the best accomplishments. My wife, Deborah, and I have started the company in 92, 93, and, you know, started as a parts company to make go-fast parts for Porsches and evolved into a really nice little business model. You know, we had to get our table right. I like having 6 or 7 legs under that table because you can kick them out all the time. You can't go down one rat hole with one sponsor and chase one thing.
Right,
something
that's
happens.
where it's dangerous, isn't it?
We built a really nice arrive and drive program for club racing in the old days, and we had a lot of good service and parts. And then when I had a chance to go racing professionally with some sponsorship, it just all worked. You know, as we did better, more people came. There was times at Daytona we were running. There's 8 years in a row. We ran 5 cars or more, and it was crazy logistics, but it was really fun. And I liked being like here. These drives right here. The track is challenging. Everybody likes challenging stuff. So, you know, the company now does a lot of stuff. We did an Aston Martin program for 5 years, and we ran NASCAR for 3 years. And now we're back doing just we're running with the new Pirelli World Challenge SRO, which is here next year. Next week. We have 3 cars here in the race next week. It's a big event, actually, next week. It's going to be fun. Anybody who wants to come out. And doing that and doing the winery. And loving it right now. So just coming down and seeing this and getting back a little bit in this world and seeing these guys race these cars and walking around today. One of my buddies is here and from high school. And we're both just going, oh, I remember that car.
What's your favorite car of the 200 we've got here?
You know, I'm probably, gosh, I'm looking at all the old Porsches. There's probably no favorite right now, but it's just, there's so many here.
When are you back out for your run?
We're at 125. Look forward to a race.
And no problems, no mechanical issues?
No, except my lower back a little bit. Other than that.
And listen, folks, if you're tuning in on the internet and you think it's all unobtainium next weekend at the SRO or even here at the festival, it's not, and nor is Adobe wine, because the Adobe Road wine, I met Kevin a few years ago back at COTA, and I said, how do I get hold of this wine? And he said to me, and then I got on the mailing list, and I keep getting it. It's great. So you too can sign up and get yourself some beautiful California wine. And if you're a racing fan as I am, you can now get, what is it, Shift?
Shift and the 24
Apex.
and Apex, all the new metal label technology.
I love it.
It's great. It was a sweet spot, and of course, it's not just racing, it's cars and the car culture lifestyle. I mean, there was a Cars and Coffee this morning in Nevada that was packed with people.
Really?
And my guy Richard went over and ran the event this morning for us before he came here. It's like,
That's great.
Anyway, we're so happy to be here with this group. I'm all in with Jeff O'Neill and April and Ryan and everybody that helped put this all together, and count on TRG's support here for next year and make this an annual event. Just really, really nice to see you here in wine country at Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah, good to hear that. And I'm sure Jeff will be pleased to know that they've got local support, and that's what it needs here in Sonoma. And when will you be opening your new facility?
We start digging next month, probably just under a year, so hopefully summer. It would be awesome if it was here in time for the next event, because it's a great facility with a big waterfront deck, and out for we'll do like a Thursday night party there and go up to Jeff's on Friday or something. So.
Well, you're listening to Kevin Buckley. He's got to go and strap himself in because we'll be on track in less than an hour. So we'll wish him well with that. But thank you for coming in. And Yeah, tell us about your advantage.
Thanks.
We'll come back down when you finish your Group 9 race.
Thanks for doing what you're doing, man. This is cool. I'm just cool. I'm loving, you're watching these guys.
It's great, isn't it? Well, I've got the perfect spot here. I'm a little bit above it all, but I'm getting down. I've got a go-kart now. I can go down.
I like your air
go down
conditioner
there.
up here. This is good. You
It's all right. I got my food. I got everything I need. But
thanks, guys.
I'm loving this circuit. It's great. And so you're doing SRO here. How's that season
SRO
going?
next week. Good. We're leading the championship in sprint right now, and we have a 2-driver format in the Sprint X. So it's a 2-driver Pro-Am or Am-Am in one category, and then there's Sprint only, where all the I mean, those it's pretty badass. You got brand new Mercedes GT4s, you got the new Aston GT4, you got the new McLaren GT4, you got the Porsche GT4, you got the Audi GT4. I mean, they're all spec'd cars that come as race cars. A lot of the guys that are out there driving some of the historic stuff would love driving those new cars because they're fun, they're fast, they're easy, they don't break. Key there, and we love running them, so that's probably why I like doing more of that, because it's a lot less time consuming and nobody's cranky. So
that is important.
You bet. All right, I'm gonna get rest set. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it, and we'll see you after the race. I'll come and join you for a spot of wine.
You bet. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. Kevin Buckler there of TRG Racing, and he'll be out in his Daytona-winning 2003 Porsche later in the day in Group 9 as we take a look at the number 88 car. Hooning round, as they say. Great expression. Hooning round. I learned that in New Zealand. It's a great word. David Martin in the 61 Huffaker Genie-Alfa. Like I said, I met Joe telling me about his father, and they restore and prepare these cars lovingly here in California locally, and have been for many years. And just as yesterday, they are pretty much dominating the field as Chip Fudge and Cameron Healy continue their battle, but now in traffic. So this is where it's going to get interesting. This is the battle for second and third, and now they've got a tiptoe. And as Kevin quite rightly pointed out, it's like doing moguls as a skier, but you can't look up, which is what they're having to do now to look at the traffic. And quite rightly, the traffic just pointing them the way and making sure that they're aware that they know that coming through, but it's always a bit of a worrying time. You're racing the guy behind you, but you're then trying to race past the slower cars. This will be one lap to go after this, and if Cameron Healy is going to have a chance of getting second place, he's going to have to do it now, but I've got a feeling he might just do something special here. Here he goes, he's winding himself up for the last lap now. Here we go. David Martin's going to win this race. He's some 25 seconds up the road. Chip Fudge, though, using the traffic to his advantage as they both just lean on the number 23 and pass him. He's in his own race. He's quite happy. And can that beautiful Porsche number 55 get through? He was in second place for quite some time, but they've been swapping places throughout this race. And awesome. Here they come, and they've got through some of the traffic, but now, as you can see, there's not a lot in it as they come down the hill. Now, the next overtaking position is just coming up after here. Here we are, and he got good drive out of the left-hander, and now he'll look for an inside move. And I think he's going to get covered off by the 156. Chip Fudge has raced here before, and now both of them get good drive out of the right-hander, and then they'll dive down towards the hill. It could be a Hail Mary, so to speak, at turn 11 for the last corner. That's what Healy will be looking for now, and that's exactly where he is. Here comes our winner and leader to the last corner, and he'll take the checkered flag, David Martin, and I hope we go back and see at least turn 11 for the battle for second place. But it is David Martin who wins in the number 88. Congratulations to him. Here they come to that last corner. And it doesn't look as though Healy's going to do anything. He's going to go high and wide, try and get as much drive on the inside as he can. But I don't think he's going to get Chip Fudge at this point. And they're going to literally finish side by side. Ooh, I say that. Look at this. Go on. It's going to be a run to the line, a drag race right by the drag strip. But it is Chip Fudge who just holds off to take second place ahead of Cameron Healy. We've had some really, really good close finishes today. And it's certainly not choreographed by any means. You couldn't do it if you tried. And congratulations, hand slapping and clapping out waving to the crowd. Great race, and very close indeed. There's your winner, though, the Genie-Alfa. The Huffaker prepared David Martin, the winner. And I spent some time with these two over the weekend, the two Genies, and they're really nice cars, beautifully made, lightweight, small displacement, and doing the business here. It's almost the perfect car for Sonoma, isn't it? So congratulations to David Martin in the Genie-Alfa from 1961. All these cars, early 60s, late 50s. And if I'm not mistaken, that's his second win this weekend. And a quick look at the highlights straight from the get-go. It was the Genies that held the run, and it was another 1-2 in the end, but Chip Fudge had to work for it, didn't he? He had the attention of Cameron Healy in that Porsche all through the race. And in fact, there were racing going on right through the pack. Jim Gallucci there in the all blue number 5, just going on the inside line, and a few moments. But the best part of the race, at least, was between these two. The 156 of Chip Fudge in the Genie and the Porsche 55 of Cameron Healy. And as you see, they swapped places throughout this race. And right at the line, David Martin coming across the line, but look how close this second place was. Oh, inches between them. Look at that. Perfect. So that concludes our coverage of Route 2.